Hello, and today we're going to learn how to solve the Rubik's Cube. But this is going to be a very specific tutorial for my cousin who is trying to learn how to do it. This took 2 years of trying to convince him. He likes to solve on red cross because red is his favorite color. So I'm going to do a tutorial on how to solve on the red cross. There are going to be very specific steps to how to solve the Rubik's Cube. So the first step is going to be solving red cross, solving corners to make a face, solving the second layer, orientating last layer, and finally permutating last layer, where we solve the entire cube with 2 algorithms. But before we get into the actual solving of the cube, we have to get familiar with the moves and the pieces. This is an edge piece. It has 2 stickers or colors that are perpendicular to each other. They'll be different colors depending on the centers. So like this one is matching with a blue center and this one is matching with a red center. This is a corner piece. A corner piece has 3 colors that are shown on it. A corner piece will go in between 3 centers. So this one is the yellow, red, and blue. Let's get started solving. So we're going to find our edge pieces to make our cross. So I see the blue and red one and also the yellow. We're going to do yellow first because it's already lined up with its correct center. So we just do right side clockwise. And we line it up like that. Now then, this blue one is not lined up with its correct center. So we're going to move it to the bottom, move it once, and now it's with its correct center. So now we just move it upwards. Next will be the green center. Green edge to the green center. So right now, if we do front clockwise, it is not with its correct center. So we move it twice to the bottom and then move it upwards. And now it is with its correct center, but now it is flipped. So in order to correctly get it into its correct position, we do this alg. U counterclockwise, or U prime, R prime, U, F prime. And now it is correctly lined up. Next, we're going to look for the last one, and it is right here. So we just move it over to here, correctly line it up, and move it upwards. Our next step is to put the red center at the bottom. And now we are going to solve the red corners. So this one is the red, blue, and white corner. So we're going to line it up between the red, the white, and blue. So right now we're going to do a simple alg in order to solve it. So right now it's facing upwards, but soon we're going to get it to here. So we do R clockwise, U, R prime, U prime. And we keep doing that. And if we repeat it enough times, then it'll go into its correct place. Next we do this corner, and this is the green and white one. So once again we do R, U, R prime, U prime, R, U, R prime, U prime, R, U. And it is solved. So we just keep doing that with every corner. So after we have solved all our corners, our next step is to put the edges in the middle layer. This is going to be our second layer. So how we do it is we see what goes in between the 2 centers. So there's yellow, blue, green. green, white, white, blue, blue, yellow. So we're looking for any edges that go in between there. So our first one is going to be the blue and yellow. So we move it on the top layer until it lines up with one of its centers. So right now it's lining up with its yellow center. So the algorithm we're going to use is we are going to move it to the side with a U prime. Then we're going to move the left side counterclockwise, L prime, U, L, U, F, U prime, F prime. Now then, that seems difficult, but so our next edge is going to be this one, the green and white, and we're going to do the same thing but reversed. It's going to be on, the last one was on the left side, so this one's going to be on the right side. So we go U, R, U prime, R prime, U prime, F prime, U, F. And now it is in its correct place. And we keep doing that with each of its edges. Until we get to all of them solved. Now that there's going to be a case where the edge is already in there but it's flipped. So what we're going to do is take any of the top edges and move it into here with the algorithm. So U, R, U prime, R prime, U prime, F prime, U, F. And now the edge is out and we can move it in with the same alg. Now that we have our second layer done, we move on to the top layer. And now I'm going to show 3 different cases for the first step of the top layer. So the first one is where there are no edges oriented. So we want edges oriented. So we do this out. F, R, U, R prime, U prime, F prime. And that sets up 2 edges upwards. Our next case is where 2 edges are in an L shape, or a backwards L. So for this case, we're going to hold the L to where it's backwards, and we're going to do F, U, R, U prime, R prime, F prime. And that's going to get all of the edges solved. It doesn't matter if the corners aren't, we just want the edges. Our next case is a straight line of edges, and for this case we're going to do F, R, U, R prime, U prime, F prime. Now any of the corners could be upwards, but as long as there's a line, you do that alg. Next case we want is where the corners are all unsolved but the cross is, and one corner is solved here. And so the alg for this is R, U, R prime, U, R, U2, R prime. Now, we're not always going to have that case, but we can use that alg to solve the other ones. So for this case, we're just going to do it from, I'd say, this side and go R, U, R prime, U, R, U2, R prime. Now, that did not set up our case, but if we do it from another angle, like here, okay, that just set it back up. But if we do it from here, it sets up this case, and we can do this one more time. And now we have our case. So just keep doing that and experiment with angles. So R, U, R prime, U, R, U2, R prime. Our final part is in 2 parts as well. So in this case, we want 2 headlights. This doesn't matter, but we're going to do this out to set it up. R prime, F, R prime, B2, R, F prime, R prime, B2, R2. and that'll set up some headlights, and then we can do it again. And that'll set up a 3-edge cycle case. So for this one, we're going to do the edge is opposite here. So the case we're going to do is R2, U, R, U, R prime, U prime, R prime, U prime, R prime, U, R prime. The final case we might have is one where it looks like this, where the edge is opposite, is now on this side. And so the alg for this one is R, U prime, R, U, R, U, R, U prime, R prime, U prime, R2. So that's basically the reverse of the original alg. If you run into a case where all the edges are all opposite, then what you do is just do the regular U perm alg, which was what the last one is. Or until you get one of these cases. You might also have one where it's like this, where these two need to swap and these two need to swap. So once again, you just do the standard U perm alg. And that's how you solve the Rubik's Cube on Red Cross.